Hey everybody, it is another episode of Unleashed Alchemy, where on this platform and on this show, we talk about embracing our spiritual elevation, not being afraid of it, but really embracing it, giving it a hug to come and just really surrendering to it so that we can stand firm in our I am power. Some people call it God power, goddess power. I don't care what you call it, but it is standing firm in your I am power so that you can go against the established grain. Okay, go against the established grain to bring about enchantments in your life and ultimately the world. So, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. I see new subscribers almost every single day. So, thank you so much for being here. If you are new here, brand new, this is your first video. Thank you. Welcome. Again, I am glad you're here. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. So before we get into today's episode where we're really going to talk about, again, y'all already know, for those of you that have been here, you already know that one of the main topics that I talk about on this show is the power of our Heka, the power of our words. The reason why I talk about it so much is because it is not talked about enough, from my opinion. All right, so this episode, we're going to talk about our words as creation power. All right, I know I've talked about it before, but I talk about it from different angles, in different perspectives, using different examples. So before we get into today's episode, I want to remind you to don't forget to enroll in the Unleashed Alchemy Mystery School, where you have monthly access to spiritual workshops, downloads. I do readings. We go live every month where I do energetic readings on those lives. Also, you have access to a community where there are other spiritualists, magicians, alchemists like yourself, where if you are inclined, you can share your realizations, you can share your messages, you can share your visions that you may have received during your meditations or your practice, however it is that you practice. So that is a space where you can come in and talk about those things with people, like-minded people, people who are embracing their spiritual elevation, and you don't have to feel crazy. Okay, so Unleashed Alchemy Mystery School, it is open. Check out the link in the description box to get access, monthly access. All right. Also, I want to remind you, and I don't know, I think I've been forgetting to talk about this, but I just released an energy clearing incantation, okay, is what I like to call it. You can call it an affirmation. I call it an incantation because it is embodying energy clearing. All right. So before you do any ritual, before you light a candle, even before you go through your vision board, vision book, if that is what you do, all right, even before you do any of that, it is very important to cleanse your energy, cleanse your aura, recalibrate your nervous system. All right, it is a free downloadable PDF. I will link the PDF in the description box of this video. All right, so enough of the announcements. Let's get into the video. Words as creation power. All right. When we are using our words or when we look at our words as creation power, this goes beyond a definition in the dictionary. Okay. So when we talk about using our words as creation power, you have to understand that you are speaking what already exists. I'm going to repeat that. You are speaking what already exists. I know that that is difficult, or can seem difficult to process, because you're trying to use your ego. Many times, here's a side note. If you ever hear someone or people say, well, affirmations don't work, it's because they're not speaking from their soul. They're speaking from their ego. All right? Because when you are speaking from your ego, every time you speak something, the ego, all that junk in the back of your mind, you are comparing, you're making comparisons to what was versus what is, because that is all the ego has. The ego has the past, the ego has what is in front of you. Versus when you look at words as creation power, you start to speak from your soul, because your soul knows the past, what we call the past. Your words, or your soul knows the present. Your soul knows the future. Your soul knows all of that, that encompasses all of those aspects that encompass everything outside of what the ego calls time. All right. So when you when you look at words as creative power, you're speaking from your soul. Then you start to understand that when you speak, that is your manifestation. When you speak, that is your manifestation. You have to begin to, when you speak from your soul, your words become that bridge between what is not seen into the seen. All right? And this is where embodiment of those words come in. This is why it's important to speak from your soul, because it's more about just vain repetition. It does not even include vain repetition. All right? You start to understand that there is no need for a bridge when you embody what you say, because your embodiment of your words, that is the manifestation. So there is no need for a bridge. We don't even have to talk about a bridge. Your words as creation power, as creative power, is the marriage and the fusion between your cosmic body and your physical body. Why? Because your soul already knows that what you are speaking is not new. It's new to your ego, but not to your soul. That's why if you speak something, that's why, let's say, for example, if you are in meditation and all of a sudden you get this wonderful vision, this fabulous, what the ego will say is grandiose vision, and you may be left sitting in your meditation thinking, okay, where did that come from? And you know you didn't make it up, it just dropped in. Well, the ego will attempt to extract that, telling you, okay, that's impossible. That feels uncomfortable. Oh, I don't know about that. That is your ego. That is your ego. So let me go back to my notes so I don't get off track. Now, when we talk about words as creative power, we start to understand, when we start to look at words as creative power, we know that it's coming from our soul. Then we start to embody, and we know that embodiment is manifestation. So there's no need for a bridge. All right. We know that we can call in with our words a new age of existence. That new age equals the power that we have in our words to heal. To heal what? To heal our body, to heal our family, our bloodline, to heal our career, to heal our money, to heal our entire life. You can look at it like this. Your words have creative power to heal. Healing also equaling to give life back into, to revive, to birth, to give life to what was before what? To give life to to our soul, to our soul's destiny, to our soul desire, to our soul fulfilled life before we were programmed to think and believe and exist in another way. Your own words awaken your inner authority. So here's a new way to view your words, okay? Understand that your words, when you speak, you are speaking a cosmic blueprint, okay? So there's no such thing as not knowing what to say because you're speaking from your soul. You know, when you hear people say, well, I don't know what to affirm, or I don't know what to say, no such thing. Because now you understand, you're looking at your words differently. You're viewing your words as a cosmic blueprint. So now, instead of depending on your ego to give you some words, now you're depending on your soul. Now you begin to speak from your soul. You begin to see from your soul. So when you view your words as the fusion between the unseen and the seen, you could say the fusion between heaven and earth, if that is, if that draws you more, okay? But I like to say using your words as fusion between the unseen and the seen. You start to speak with authority. You start to speak with power. You start to speak with a knowing. You start to speak with ease. There's no force. Does that mean you speak louder? Not necessarily. It could be. It could be. But that authority and the power and ease is what is most important. Okay? So I just said this. The words, so in part of when we talk about a new way to view your words, the words that you use, they flow from you without force. Why? Because again, your words are coming from your soul, not from your ego. And I just said this, the visions will come to you without force. That's how you know that what you're seeing and what you're speaking is coming from your soul. You know that they're coming from your soul because there's no force, and there seems to be like this overflow of the visions. It's an overflow, not in a way that's overwhelming, but it's just a constant movement. It's a constant current of your words that you speak, of the visions that you receive. And these words, when you start to make that connection, when you start to view your words differently as coming from your soul, you'll start to have visions and words that are just coming up out of nowhere in the most random moments. You could be cooking, driving, doing laundry. They could even come up while you're in conversation with someone else, because now you have embodied your words as creation, as creative power. Also, aside from that, you have surrendered. There is this surrendering to your soul and surrendering to spirit. So the question that you begin to ask is, the question that you begin to ask your soul and you begin to ask your spirit is, what do I speak in this moment? So I said this earlier. When you hear a lot of people say, well, I don't know what to say, or I don't know how to write an affirmation, that is not true. The minute you surrender to spirit and you leave yourself open to ask the question, what do I speak in this moment? The words begin to flow. All right? Because what have we said? What have I said like 5 or 6 times already? The words are coming from your soul, not from your ego. All right? because now because you have embodied the power of your words as creative power. Now you understand that you are a vessel. You are a vessel that came here to live and experience a soul fulfilled life. Soul, SOUL, soul fulfilled life. Okay? And you can add, going back to that question, what am I to say in this moment? You can ask that. You don't have to necessarily be in a focused, sitting still meditation moment. You can be in the most mundane task, like I said earlier, cooking, cleaning, okay, driving. You can ask that at any moment because your connection to your soul is always there. It's constant, okay? I would encourage you as well to ask that question before you go into a focused meditation, before you go into a focused ritual, before you light a candle, even before you write a new affirmation. You ask your soul, what am I to say in this moment? Therefore, when you approach your words that way, you will always know what to say. You will always have the right words, right? When you speak, I'm going to say this last thing. When you speak, you are a vessel and you're circulating words constantly in this physical realm that already exist in spirit, that already exist in the cosmos, that already exist in the dark matter of creation. When you speak, you are bringing what is soul aligned for you here on earth. Period. All right? So that is the end of today's episode. I want to know what your takeaways are from this video. All right? Even I'd love to hear how you all approach your affirmations. I'd like to know how you all approach your spirituality. I want to know how you guys approach your meditations. Okay, if you feel so called or so inclined to share that with us in the comments, please do so. All right, or just drop me a comment saying hi. All right. Okay, so until next time, cheers.